Everyone in the galaxy thinks we humans are strange, foolish. But truth be told, they think our biggest weakness is our heart. Meet Sergeant Miller. Miller was no wealthy merchant of the coal worlds. Burned skin mapped his jawline from a plasma leak on the mining docks. Dark, hollow craters sat under his eyes from working 3 consecutive double shifts. His hands always, well, they shook a little whenever he counted his remaining hard-earned credits. He was at the dark underbelly markets of Sector 9, looking for spare freighter parts. That's when he saw them. 3 alien women, bound in heavy iron chains, being pushed onto the auction block. The market crowd was brutal. The slave traders laughed, kicking the dirt at the women's feet. Their minds were small. They only saw profit. They only saw property. To them, these women were just broken cargo to be sold to the highest bidder. The women's bodies were covered in deep, iridescent blue scales that scraped together like rusted metal whenever they moved. A wet, rhythmic clicking echoed from their mandibles as they breathed the thick, polluted air. Their 4 eyes stared out like empty, bottomless pits, filled with absolute despair. Miller couldn't just stand there and watch. He didn't care about buying parts anymore. He slammed his entire sack of credits onto the merchant's counter. I bought the alien women and freed them, right there on the spot, smashing their iron locks with a heavy metal wrench. The traders mocked him as he led the women away. They thought he was an idiot. They thought he was a soft-hearted human who had just wasted his life savings on broken cargo. But then, the sky above the market went dead cold. A massive royal dreadnought broke through the clouds, its heavy shadow blocking out the neon lights. The air inside the market instantly bit into everyone's lungs like shards of glass. The sharp stench of ozone and royal sulfur hung thick, suffocating and heavy. Hundreds of elite royal guards dropped from the sky, plasma spears ready, surrounding Miller and the 3 women. In the center of the guard line stood Queen Zalviri herself. Her towering, armored frame rumbled with absolute fury as she stepped toward Miller. The crowd dropped to their knees, expecting massacre. But the 3 women didn't run from her. They ran to her, shouting in their native tongue. That's when the truth hit the date. Miller had no idea. He only learned right then that they were the alien queen's daughters, kidnapped by raiders weeks ago. The queen turned her massive, horned head toward Miller, her 4 dark eyes locking onto his small frame. Her guards raised their weapons, waiting for the command to incinerate him. But Miller did not run. He didn't drop to his knees to beg for his life. Instead, his shaking hands became, suddenly, perfectly still. He wiped a streak of dark grease from his forehead, took a ragged, burning breath, and looked the queen straight in her eyes. He didn't look at her like a terrifying conqueror. He looked at her like a mother who had just found her kids. He looked up at the towering queen and said, "Your Majesty, I didn't know who they were, and I don't care about your throne. Where I come from, we don't let people wear chains. Humans don't look at a price tag when someone is suffering. We fight for the soul. I did what was right. If your guards want to shoot, let them shoot." He stood his ground, completely ignoring the plasma lasers painting his chest. Alien logic shattered right there on the floor. The queen's mandibles went completely still. The royal guards lowered their spears, their hands shaking in disbelief. For thousands of years, every species that encountered the queen brought political treaties, tributes, or cowered in absolute terror. No one had ever just stood before her, spoken with raw, unbroken defiance, and demanded nothing in return for saving the royal bloodline. Later, the galaxy learned that Miller's simple act of humanity didn't seal his doom. It forged an unbreakable alliance. The queen didn't execute him. She granted humanity full protection across the entire Outer Rim and named Miller an honorary lord of her court, proving that humans don't care about the scale of the power they face. They just do what's right and stand by it. The aliens still sit in their high towers, texting, trying to find political logic behind why Supreme Empire would bow its head to a broke human grunt. But truth is, humans are just built different. The night is getting late. So, what do you think? We humans really are strange, aren't we?